Hey everyone, Shivam here back with another YouTube video. In this YouTube podcast, we have Felipe over here. If you guys don't know, Felipe is the COO of Done For You Meetings. And I actually met Felipe a while back in Thailand. We hanged out together. We've done some crazy shit. I've seen him kill mosquitoes on Zoom calls. I've seen him take out water from his Airbnb. And we've danced together wearing an Indian kurta on a Punjabi song. We've done it all. So I just wanted to aim for his expertise on the channel because he's a systems king and I just want to know about his journey more. So, welcome, Felipe. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for the kind intro. And yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun here in Thailand. It
Yeah,
was been like 2 months already.
yeah, it's been 2 months. Time flies.
Yeah, meeting again soon.
Yeah, 100%, man. So, thank you so much for coming on. And just to get started with the questions already, I just wanted to know, obviously, you're part of Done For You meetings. So, just tell us more about how you met Michael because, you and me both met Michael in a very similar fashion. And ironically, it was through a cold outreach method. So, just want to touch more upon that, how you and Michael connected in the first place.
Oh yeah, that question is always fun.
Yeah.
Because the ironic part is for people who don't know, we're talking about Michael Gardner, who is the owner and founder of DFI Meetings, and he's very well known in the cold email industry as the cold email god,
Yes.
as he writes the best scripts in the industry. That's just like a fact, and everyone knows him.
Yeah.
If you don't, please go check him out. But anyway, what happened there that's quite ironic, and like both me and you went the same route, is we cold emailed him, and he happened to respond. In my case, he responded was like, oh yeah, let's have a chat. So what I did, just so everyone has some context, and this will be something kind of valuable if you're looking to network with people. My approach when cold emailing him was only one thing: adding value. So I outreach to him. I said, hey, I just watched a few of your videos. I love the content you made. I applied this. I already got a client from the methods you mentioned. And I am a full-time filmmaker. I would love to share a few ideas with you on how you can improve the video quality. And he was like, oh, my girlfriend is doing it. But I was like, no, no, no. I actually just want to give you some ideas. We
Hmm.
hop on a call, already made a few document to show him. He ended up liking the document. We ended up like connecting very well. And we kept talking and everything went up to the point he was like, dude, you want to come join me in Acapulco? He was in Mexico at the time. He had a mansion there with a few other entrepreneurs and he invited me. I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it. So we started an agency. And a few months after, I joined his main agency, which you guys will learn more about that in a second. Um, but yeah, that's how everything went. And key concept here for everyone looking to network is adding value. Even when cold emailing is not asking, hey, can I ask a question? Is more, hey, can I provide you some value, something I can share, maybe that I know that you could be interested in. So that is how. But I'm curious to hear, how was your cold email to him, Shivam?
So it wasn't a cold email, it was actually a cold Facebook message that I
Oh,
sent to
nice.
him when he did an interview on Iman Ghazi's second channel about his agency back when he was, more on the VA side and social media management side. And I just cold messaged him on Facebook saying, hey, my name is Shivam, and I loved your interview with Iman, and I am a white label social media management company, and I'm not looking to sell anything. I
Mm-hmm.
just want to connect with you and see how you are operating because I really loved the way that he talked about treating his employees, and it was really something that connected with me. And he said, "Yeah, He just replied back saying, "Yeah, it's great, etc. Can you share your portfolio with me just so I know what kind of work you do? Because I'm not looking for anybody yet." And I just shared my portfolio, and I said, "There's no pressure. I didn't ask him to sell anything, etc., etc." And 2 days later, he said, "Yeah, one of my social media managers left. Do you want to hop on a call?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And within like in a 30-minute call, I landed two of his clients. Like I overtook two of his clients, and that's how a relationship started. And then slowly I got into his mastermind. Then I started One Line Labs and he became a partner in it because it was through his mastermind that started. And then that evolved into a business partnership as well as a really great friendship that I flew from India to Thailand just to meet him and you. And we had a blast for like a week or so in Thailand and like in Bangkok and
Oh, yeah.
Chiang Mai both. So it's really great on how like, you met somebody online and yeah, he's very tall. For you guys who don't know, he is actually very tall. So I still remember when I got off the car, I was like, yeah, this dude is tall.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So this is for some context for people who don't know, Marco in person, he's like 202 centimeters tall. I think
yeah.
that's like 6 foot 4, I
6 foot
believe.
4, 6 foot 5. He
So
told me when
yeah,
he was in
he's like
India,
a basketball player.
yeah, when he was in India, people used to take like selfies with him. When he went to Dhaka in Bangladesh, he said people used to stop
Yeah.
him in the street. He's a foreigner as well as he's so tall, everybody wanted like a picture with him. So it was quite hilarious to see, like, everybody taking a picture with him and wanting to know who he is, kind of a situation. So it's always
That
good.
is funny. Today, I was really talking to him about going to Bangladesh at some point, and Bangladesh can be a little bit chaotic because
Yeah,
there are not many foreigners that go there. So you're quite exclusive, especially if you go into some smaller cities. And he was like, "Dude, it's gonna be overwhelming. Get
yeah,
ready for people to just look and wow, like I want a picture. That's a foreigner. That's a foreigner." And quite crazy. But yeah, his height is definitely something people just look at like, yeah, do the stuff.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. If you
especially in
go to
Thailand, where
Bangladesh, you have to come to India though. Like I
mhm.
won't let you go to Bangladesh and not come to India 100%.
Oh yeah, we are for sure going to India. We have a few buddies. They always say like Goa is the go-to place,
Yeah, yeah,
which I believe is the beach, right? Is that
yeah.
correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is more like party type, right?
It's not exactly party. Like you can have a nice little villa you can have to yourself. You can work in the morning, and of
Hmm.
course there's party. There's amazing food, everything of that sort. It's like
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's like a mini Thailand, is what I would tell you. So it should be a lot of fun when you guys come. Just to bring on some people.
yeah.
I bring on some more entrepreneurs, and we just take like a big ass villa, and we just like stay together, work, and then party together as well. So I think 100%. I'm pushing Michael for a lot for India. So hopefully he caves in, and you guys are here soon.
Yeah, I think we'll be like more like mid next year or
Yeah,
something when Michael comes back from the US. He's going home next year. So yeah, that most likely will be the time we go there. And if I'm not crazy, we'll go like all across because you guys have everything in India.
yeah,
For everyone that doesn't know much about it, like I know a little bit only from what Michael told me, but you guys have like mountains, beaches, like
everything.
like literally everything you can imagine, deserts.
Everything.
So yeah, it would be a fun ride.
Perfect. Let's so moving on to the
Yep.
next question. Otherwise, Philippe
Mm-hmm.
can talk all day. But so I'm just curious
Yeah.
about the fact that obviously, like I discussed with, I told in the intro that you are a systems god, and like again, systems is your thing. You've built out many systems. So once you got to Michael, and obviously you got to know more about the agency space, etc., and you said you joined him and done for your meetings. What made you not go your individual route to starting your own agency? Because I've seen most people in the industry really say business partners or business partnerships don't work really, and you and Michael have seen work in tandem together so many times when I was there in person as well as online. So what made you decide, okay, let me join Michael versus me going solo and like starting my own agency? Because you easily could have done that.
Yep. I love the question. And one of the things that will kind of answer it is I always been for partnerships. So all of my businesses before that one were like always partnerships. I always had like 2 or 3 team members that were that owned the company as well. It was
Mhm.
like everyone like coming together for it. And one of the reasons like Mike and I got together so well, and now this will be interesting for the audience. Is you're always gonna have an assessment of how far your personality goes and how good you are at the things that you are.
Mhm.
For example, Michael is phenomenal at sales and networking. It's just a fact. He's a great with email, networking, everything. I am not. I'm more into like the technical and I can like figure out stuff. I love fulfillment. I love the side of hey, I'm gonna get this done.
Mhm.
In the sense of the service side, and he's more on the type of like I'll get us more business, and that was a great match. So we're like, yeah, we should come together and just like separate the 2 of them, which
Mhm.
is sales and fulfillment. And that is what we did with the FI meetings at this point, where I just control making sure the clients are happy and he just brings in more good clients.
Yeah.
So that is why I didn't go like my own way because we just
Mhm.
match so well and it does make a lot of sense. Some people try to do everything themselves, and what they end up doing is they are just like a very low paid freelancer, so to say. They have one client here, one there, and they try to get someone from Fiverr to help them, and just doesn't make sense when you could have like 2 people that are like complementary, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, and you
100%.
can make something bigger. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I see a lot of people's egos getting in the way as well. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't know, Michael is as well as a partner in my agency, One Line Labs, and when he proposed that to me, the first thought that in my mind came that okay, no, like I want to do this solo, but thinking in the long term of schemes, like you said, he's a great at networking, great, and our services
Mm-hmm.
are so complementary to each other that I do leads and lines, and you guys do a done for you meeting service where you guys provide obviously a meeting to the person. It's just such a complimentary service, and with Michael being such a big person in the industry, it's very easy for us to have a complementing in nature. And especially when a person owns the pie, like a piece of the pie, he would obviously refer me over XYZ agencies because obviously there's some sort of value to him as well. And when he knows that the work we do is so well, and we know each other personally. I feel that just made sense to give that little part of the company away for a much bigger pie versus just trying to operate 100% of a smaller pie. So I think that's a thing a lot of agency owners nowadays have been, made immune to saying that, yeah, business partnerships don't work, because that's just not true. They don't work when you guys are of the same skill set and the best at the same thing, and then you friction with each other because you both want to do that one thing and you both hate the other thing. With you and Michael, it was like I said, you were more of the back end guy while he was more of the front end guy, and back end plus front end obviously makes a full company. So that just makes sense for you guys to have that in nature.
Yeah, for sure. And I love your perspective on what you just said there. There is this common thing of like you want a piece of the watermelon, not a full grape, right?
Exactly.
And it's exactly that. Like you can have the ego and say, "Hey, I'm gonna do everything on my own," like battle through. Some people do make it, and like props to them.
Yeah.
Some people do have all the skills necessary, and they're very good at delegating. They can like create a team and put everything together. But most people are just not entrepreneurial. That's just a fact, and it's hard to accept that sometimes. I accepted that like long ago that I don't want to be like a solo entrepreneur. I do well in teams, and I do much better things in teams.
Yeah.
So I think just like you accept like the mentorship from him, like as
Yeah.
in your company, and you just grew so much more from that.
Yeah. I
Also
think
referrals and everything you get from this type of deal.
exactly. It's I think about the self-realization of, and online, and the online space can really be lonely. I feel a lot of people don't talk about that. I think with the SMMA space,
Mm-hmm.
it's like people have been lost in the money, in the Stripe notifications, and something of that sort. And I realized with time that, when I was at it's a fun thing that I got a memory on my phone of 2 years ago, where I made $500 in a month, and I was so happy seeing
Yeah.
that video 2 years ago, seeing that number hit the screen, and today I'm making about $10,000 a month. And the happiness at that time somehow was much more than it is today, because today it's more about the happiness when I came to Thailand was much more about meeting you guys, spending time with you guys, versus actually seeing those notifications come in or seeing more clients come in. Of course, that's most important to keep your business running. But I really feel that
Mm-hmm.
people don't realize the fact that the space is so lonely because you're actually closed down in a room, talking to people on a Zoom call or, on a Facebook Messenger, and you actually don't have contact with anybody. And it can get really lonely if you don't try to network out of just your clients and try to get part of mentorships, get to know people in your own space, have some kind of partnerships together where you can go meet, have these kind of experiences as well. And I feel this is one thing that's really less talked about in this space, because it's not like a shiny object which would attract people to the space. It would, I guess, say tell people that, okay, yeah, I don't want to do this because it can get really lonely really fast.
Yeah, absolutely. In my opinion, like everything is all about like the brotherhood that you have. Like you go as far, like two things, like you go as far as your mentorship goes, but as well as your friendship goes.
Yeah.
You cannot just surpass that. Like everyone talks about, like you're the average of 5 people you spend most time with,
Yeah.
and that's just so true. And like you cannot avoid it; it's just gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
And then forcing out like that brotherhood, like finding out better than you, or like partnerships with someone is like-minded. That's
Yeah.
just so important. One thing I always mention is like one thing about me I haven't mentioned much in this podcast, but like I've done a lot of things before aside from the agency world,
Mm-hmm.
and like I only did well in all of them is because of mentorships. For example, I fought before, and like my coach was the world champion in Muay Thai, my godfather. Shout out to him, Michelle, if he's watching this. And then after, like I was learning like hustling from someone who was like world class in volleyball. And
Wow.
like I did military training. Like I always was like around like peers that were like
Mm-hmm.
highly motivated and highly like performing. And I can just say like that helps so much. It just you have endless motivation. And
Yeah.
then when you're trying to do everything solo, just like plowing through it, yes, you can do it to a certain extent, but at some point it's just like full on discipline.
Yeah.
You don't even feel the drive to do it, right?
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, now that you've talked about your past journey, I would love to know, what you've done in the past before stepping into the online world. And is there anything that you feel, obviously, I believe that every step in our life obviously is a step forward and it leads to where you are today. So do you really think when you look back, is that somehow you were always interested in businesses, like you mentioned, you did volleyball, fighting, military? Was there some kind of a thing to do a business, to do some this kind of a thing, or you just walked into it without realizing what you would be getting into?
So actually, it started with me getting into the gym because I was like super skinny. I was like 50 kilos and like 107 centimeters at the time. I was like 15. I was like, dude, I gotta get some weight.
Yeah.
Else I'm gonna break here. So I just got into that, and that led me to go into fighting. I didn't practice volleyball. He was just like he was my first employer actually, but he was a great mentor of mine. His name is Jurgen. Shout out to him now. And all he taught me was mindset and how you structure yourself, discipline, everything, how you show up every single day. I'll be very brief on this, but he's someone that got 7 injuries, and
Oh,
every time he got injured, a doctor came through and was like, "Guy, dude, you cannot play anymore. You're done. Your career is over." And he's like, "It's not. I'm only stop playing when I'm 30." And every time passes like a month or two, dude is back in the court and just crushing it. And he was always like the leading in the team, like the best player.
yeah.
So he didn't let even doctors stop him. He was just like always coming back and crushing it even better and better, better every time.
Hmm.
And now finally he's not getting more injured. So that's great. But
Yeah.
yeah, he taught me that side of things, and I can definitely say that helps when you come to the agency world,
Yeah.
where you usually like are competing against someone that just jumped into it because like, oh, I can make money online.
Yeah.
So they don't have the discipline already there, and it's just so easy to crush someone that's in that situation, right?
Yeah. That's true. That's true. So that's great to know. I think your online before online journey isn't really discussed anywhere on the website. I'm really glad we got to poke around that a bit. So of course, like
Yep.
Michael Gardner, again, people who don't know, I'll link him down below, talks about a lot about uh to sell off done for you meeting as a seven-figure company. His goal,
Mm-hmm.
unlike a lot of other agency owners in the space, is to build a company with a lot of mission, a lot of vision, with a lot of results, so that he can become a person who sells at as a seven-figure company and exits out of it. Because we personally had this chat where he's told me that he has a lot of passions in life which do not align with the kind of money he would be getting out of an agency, and he wants to just get out of it, build a passive stream, and just get into all these activities that he wants to do. He's mentioned fundraising thing, a lot of other small ventures. So once he
Mm-hmm.
decides to obviously exit out of it, you as a COO obviously get some kind of return for working in the company, being so hard and helping reach where it is. So would you like to continue in the online space, like or would you like to be a consultant, or would you just be looking for the next best thing which would not be related to anywhere in the agency space in the next 3 to 5 years?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, I love it. By the way, I'll always be building something. So as soon as we sell, depending on the type of sale, like we may have to stay inside the company for a year after,
Yeah.
depending on like the structure once again. But we'll be building something, and I'm pretty sure it will be me and Michael once again. And if it is not an agency, it may be a software, it may be an info product, which we have an info product going out now.
Yes.
So it will be building something of some
Yeah.
sort. If you're not involved, the agency, depending on the type of deal we get there.
Yeah. So no, that's
Yeah.
great. And like you said, you've always been into building something of some sort. So have you always been interested in like SaaS products? Because I've seen a lot of agency owners, Alex Berman, people like him are turning more into creating software-based businesses, a SaaS business. Like he's created Taplio, or like, something along the lines of outbound prospecting. And I know that you and Michael have been working on an info product as well, but it's not exactly a SaaS. So do you really feel that SaaS is the next step in the agency world as a professional in the agency while being part of such a big, successful agency? Or do you really think SaaS is like a bubble in the agency space that's just there for the time being and will burst? Or is it the future of building an agency?
Mm-hmm. So I'll answer with our answer as the company, and then I'll give you like more of a personal touch as well.
Yeah.
For us, it makes a lot of sense to go into SaaS because we build, and as you've seen, like the systems we have, and those systems we have for our own company are already SaaS companies. We
Yeah,
just don't let other people in. But
exactly.
as soon as we do, we would for sure have like a bunch of users that would love to and would benefit a lot from those systems, right?
Yeah,
We have a lot of solutions that people just won't have the time to build themselves, and it wouldn't make sense for a SaaS to just be that.
yeah,
So for us, it would make sense, and we can just easily transform that into something that could be good for the public. Now, on my perspective, I mean, I do think that SaaS is the way, and it will be like getting better and better and better as we go. Especially because now technology is just doing so much. Let's talk about lead gen, which is your area.
yeah,
A while back, you had to go like manually use like Chrome extensions to find leads and et cetera, et cetera. And right now, you just don't have to do that at all. You can use tools such as Parabola to just do API pulls from all different tools, and you have a list done in like seconds, and it's done completely like automated. You don't have to touch the process at all.
exactly.
Um, so yeah, that's what we're moving, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's great, and I really feel that, yeah, a lot of people. I think SaaS is again personally the way to go as well. and AI is obviously going on. And like, what do you feel with the cold email side of things? Obviously, you are part of like, writing SOPs as for campaign managers, etc. Do you really feel that, cold email is here to stay as being part of a cold email company? Because, you may have often heard cold email is dead, and we've been hearing that for 5 to 7 years. And I feel cold email is the only thing that has actually stood by. All the social media platforms come and go, and cold email is something that's still untouched. And with Google making a lot of API changes, etc., to stop the bulk cold email, do you really feel that the personalized aspect to cold email, to actually sending out that personal cold email, which will actually help somebody still be there in the future? Or do you really feel that a platform like now under Elon Musk, Twitter or Instagram or Facebook would be more up and coming into the next 5, 10 years of running a business like this?
Yeah, so breaking down the question a little bit, I do think Coding is here to stay because you just have so much connected to it, right?
Exactly.
Like your personal email is connected to all of your accounts,
Yeah.
unless someone comes in and changes the entire way we process that. I don't know, Face ID.
Yeah.
There could be something that could change the game a little bit and make us check our emails a little bit less. But nonetheless, I still think Code email will stay around for a good while, especially in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
Now that being said, there will be a lot of changes. There are a lot of changes already in how you can code email, and personalization will be one of the aspects that will be so important because, of course, you don't want massive sending. That's something I would say even from the past, right?
Yeah.
Like you used to go in Gmail and just like blast everyone with the massive
Yeah.
spam block. It's not even an email, it's a spam block, right? So yeah, it's definitely gonna change in that sense, and you're gonna have more relevant emails. Make sure you reach out to the right people, messages relevant. So I actually love the filters that Gmail, Outlook, they're all putting up
Yeah.
because it's filtering out all of the craziness that's going on, right? We
Mm.
have a lot of people buy a course on how to do an agency, sending cold emails with complete, not to say like complete bad stuff, but
Yeah.
something that's people don't want.
Yeah.
They just don't want. So
Yeah.
it's gonna always filter out those that don't know what they're doing. So that's my answer. But like in terms of like what it said about like Twitter, I do see a lot of people moving to Twitter ads at some point.
Yeah.
Like right now, there are not many people running ads there, and I definitely
Yeah.
think at some point there will be a lot of people moving to ads there because now that Elon is taking over, a lot of people are moving to the platform.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, I feel we've seen the controversies happen with Elon Musk taking over, but I feel within like a year, I think all the craziness will settle down once, and I feel Meta would have a worthy competitor in the future if everything that Elon Musk has promised till now and is trying to implement does go through with the whole thing. So yeah, that's great to hear. So just to end
yeah,
off everything, I just want to discuss with you what's the one system, because you are a systems king, that really you feel has changed the way that you work, and what you would recommend any new agency owner, existing agency owner, to have as one of the first things into the agency system to make sure that they are successful. Because I see a lot of businesses just running as it goes, people being reactive and not proactive. And what systems does is prepare you to be proactive, is how I look into systems as that, you are proactive with systems while you are reactive without them. So what is your opinion on this particular statement, and what would you suggest an agency owner to have when they are looking into this?
uh-huh. So that is a very broad question in the sense of like we could have a lot of different agency owners with different systems that I recommend them. But
Yeah.
as far as it goes to like someone that's starting out, I would say the first thing you want to do is just actually know your process. And from there, you just remove all of the pieces that you don't need to do manually.
Yeah.
As an example, the onboarding form.
Hmm.
That's something very, very basic for those of you that already have an agent established. But someone that's just starting out, you need to have the onboarding form, onboarding funnel, where you just have a video that explains how your agency works and everything to your clients. So you don't have to repeat that over and over again as you get clients.
100%.
But that is on the fulfillment side. They will leave with one more. Just for everyone starting out, you need a good system for outreach. If you don't have enough calls coming in every week, you just won't build an agency. So you want to make sure you have a system to get that in. And one of the ways is getting leads. Mr. Shivam over here could provide a good system on that.
Yes.
The next part is like your mechanism to get to those people. Either it is email, either it will be Twitter, Instagram. I know you're doing some Instagram as well now, Shivam.
Yep, that's
So yeah, just make sure you hone in to that.
100%. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Felipe. And if anybody is looking for a systems consultant, 100% Felipe is the way to go. I had a one-on-one session in Thailand with him for 1 hour, and it just blew my mind. I remember Felipe getting up and saying, "Yeah, I think you should write everything down." It took me 30 minutes just to note everything down, while these guys were just doing their own stuff. But yeah, I would leave Felipe's Facebook, Instagram, whatever he would suggest to reach out to him best. And he and Michael also have a course on D2B, which also I would link down below in case you want to join that, have a call. And yeah, thank you so much, Felipe, for joining me. And it really was a fun call, and I hope to connect with you in person as well soon.
Let's do it. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me on. This was great.
No worries. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
In the next one.